Test. This is a test. Mic check, 1, 2. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to the dojo. I am up late tonight. I want to work on a couple of things. Going to be a variety stream of sorts. So let's jump right in, okay? First thing I want to show you guys is I made this little app here with Claude. Call it Magic Desktop. Can't think of anything better. I'm going to open source it. It's private right now, but I'll change that soon. Very basic concept though. I want to be able to quickly switch I want to very quickly be able to set up my different desktops on my Mac here. So what do I mean by that? Well, like, what if I was, I don't know, what would I show you guys on this? Like warp or something? Let's look at warp. You know, maybe I'll put my terminal here, right? And then I'll decide, you know what, I actually want it to be on the right side. And then on the left side, I want this little Magic Desktop app, right? And I want this every time on this monitor. And of course, I've got a very large ultra wide that you guys can't really see just off screen. Not this one. This is actually hooked up to a PC. But this one, the one I'm pointing at that you can't see, is an LG ultra wide. And then I have my MacBook up over here. And so I can show you, I've already got OBS running on that one and it's full screen. But like, let's say I wanted to capture these two windows here. So capture current display, and you can see they're both side by side. This one's not a real app. It's just, you get to it through this little menu item right here. But while I'm here, let me show you, I'm actually working on an update to this right here. And you'll be able to see, this is one of the cool things I like to do when I actually vibe desktop apps for myself. I have a few Mac apps now. You'll see that I'm actually building it locally, so I have a local clone of it, and I have everything versioned. Right now the version installed is the latest version that I have in code, but that's because Codex, I'm using Codex for this, hasn't finished just yet. Actually, I think it might have just finished, so let's give it a second. Let's see. This should refresh. I don't see it, but I bet if I killed it or something, it might update. There we go. So see how it says repo version is 1.17 instead of 16. So that tells me there's some changes to be had. So I actually build it and run it through the settings. So a small tip there for you, but very helpful when you're building desktop apps instead of having to tell, what I normally would have to do is tell Claude or Codex to reinstall it in my applications folder for me, and then I always forget which version I'm on. All right, but what did I just change there? Well, I don't know if you guys caught this, but I don't think maybe I flashed it on screen. When you're on like an ultra wide like this was cut off, so there was no way to scroll. I still don't like it because it's not using the available space here, especially when it's full screen like this. So let's make another change to it, but you will see that you can, I guess I can't really zoom out either. I think it was kind of better before for this one because I could actually see both apps at the same time. But I'm just using this as an example anyways. Here's what I'll do. Take a screenshot of this one and like, yeah, I can scroll now, but look at all this empty space, right? So let's take the full window and let's open up warp again, and let's give it the screenshot and say, we still aren't utilizing the full space available width-wise. Also, you know what? Let's make it possible to full screen both sections. All right, very vague, but I've been working in this thread for a while, so it kind of knows what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about sections, I'm talking about this display setup section, and then this, when you actually click a display, this is the section for one of the displays. So why do I have two sections? This app has evolved a lot since I originally built it, but the main idea here is you could quick capture for each display. You just have to click the right one and then do capture current display. Or you could capture for all three. So if I do that now, you'll see some changes. This one actually does have two apps on it. This is where I'm running my browser, Dia, and Finder, probably a couple other things. You can also change the stacking order of applications. So if I wanted Finder to actually show up on top of Dia, I can do that. You guys can't really see that screen. I don't have an easy way to switch to it, but trust me, the browser is on top. But if I were to, this is saves automatically. So if I were to trigger the shortcut, so control, or I have a special super key, I guess. Let me do that again. Sorry, another application popped up that I had to handle. Okay, but yeah, if I show you, so this now has Finder on top. I actually just switched back, made sure Dia was on top. But if I do my shortcut, which in this case is F9, it will refresh all screens, including this one, which for some reason keeps launching that application. But this one, you did see it change to warp. That's because I have warp configured to be on top. But my other screen, it actually didn't do what I expected. It did not pop Finder open on top. So let's go back and troubleshoot that. So I do have Finder here. What size does it say? So the position is 0, 0. Looks like it's full screen. Let's shrink it a bit. Oh, you know what? It still gets cut off even with the scroll. Yeah, so this is just not working. This needs to be wider. So if I capture the current display, I did open Finder and it's a little smaller. But let's say I wanted Finder to be down in the left corner. Ooh, that drag is not great. Welcome to vibe coded UIs. By the way, this isn't Swift UI native. I haven't opened Xcode once. Always wanted to learn Swift. It's like the Kotlin of iOS and macOS development, but I've never had a reason to. And now with Claude and Codex, I don't have to. It just works magically. Knows all the syntax, all the UI libraries, all the quirks of developing for Apple. But yeah, so if we try this one, F9, it worked that time. Again, I must have had Snagit, my screenshot tool, open because it opens every single time on this one. Cool. Again, you can't really see it, but you know what? Let me utilize my screenshot tool that I keep closing. Wants me to sign in. Need to buy another license. Launch desktop app. Okay, activation limit exceeded. Okay, it looks like it's fine now. All right, third time's the charm. All right, so Finder's supposed to be in the bottom left. I'll show you what it looks like at the exact moment because it's widescreen, ultra widescreen. It does not have Finder. It has Dia on top. Here's what it looks like. Here's what I see. This is my stream on Twitch and YouTube, and there's a bunch of space on the desktop. It's not full screen or anything, but this shows, yes, it shows Dia, my browser, but it shows Finder in the bottom left. So now when I activate the shortcut, here's what I see. Get me screenshots, one more screen. Oh, you can see right there. So this is Finder. Zoom in for you. Can't really tell because it's a screenshot. So the thing I have open in Finder is my recents, and it's a screenshot of my Frogger game. So you can't really tell, but this is the Finder UI. All right, terrible example. All right, and it might be done vibing the UI fixes soon. Yeah, there we go, 1.18. So let's see what we get out of this. Hopefully you guys are getting an idea of the usefulness of this, even if I'm not really demoing it very well. Another feature I want to add to it soon is the ability to handle multiple, I think they're called spaces, or I call them desktops, desktop 3, 4, but I think they're technically called spaces or something. So I have a magic mouse pad. I don't know what it's called. It's the same thing you get on your trackpad. I guess a Magic Trackpad from Apple. So right next to my keyboard, right next to, I got a split keyboard, and I got the Magic trackpad. Anyway, so I can do gestures like this to show everything that's on this monitor. It actually does that on all 3 monitors when I swipe up like that with 4 fingers. But also you can create a new desktop, and then I could say that I want to put, what do we want to open up on this one? Let's do Finder again here. Oh, it's already open. Boom. We'll use this one. So I'll just full screen it, which will then actually create another desktop. You can rearrange the desktops, and then using my swipe gestures, 4 fingers right, 4 fingers left. Basically, you can switch to multiple desktop spaces or whatever. So what happens in my current app when I try to capture like all apps on this display, right? So this is the wrong one. It's this one, technically. It's the one you guys are looking at. So you see Snagit is there. That's why it kept opening, which actually I'm going to close that. So warp, and what else? Nothing. So you actually don't see the other desktops, Finder and this blank one. But yeah, you don't see Finder anymore, or at all. But if I were to, let me actually, you know what? I didn't click the button. Let me actually click the button. So if I click the button, yeah, so it confirms that there's nothing else on screen except warp, which is funny because technically this is on screen, but it doesn't count as an app. Regardless, if I then decide to merge, let's put Finder over here. I think you can actually drag. Okay, if it's full screen, you can't drag. So, but you can actually take this and, all right, am I just dumb? I'm pretty sure you can merge these. I guess the way to do it is to grab from here. There we go. I feel like maybe if I was like half screen or something, I could have dragged too, but it is what it is. All right, so Finder's on top, and then warp. Actually, I don't even know. I guess this would leave Finder on top if I did it like that, and then I go in here. All right, capture current display. Cool. Finder's there. You get the idea, right? Let's go see if our version's ready. 18. All right, let's see how this goes. I probably won't spend much more time on this little app, but the next thing I probably will tell it to do is those multiple spaces handling. After this, the next thing we're going to work on is actually, I just got this cheap Amazon, relatively cheap, capture card. We'll see if it works, because I need to capture this monitor back here, which is where I'm going to play games and stuff. I'm actually thinking about trying out a new game engine that only works on PC. That's why I got this. I can show that to you guys. A while back, long time ago actually, I think it's one of my most popular videos. I think I even might have did 2 on the subject. There was a game engine released by Amazon Game Studios called Lumberyard. Terrible name, I know. But I went through day 1 when they announced it. I think it's open source. Yeah, it was open source. I went through and I tried to understand how it worked through the interface and whatnot. And I made a video on it. And I guess because I was one of the earlier ones, or I hit the algorithm just right, that video actually popped off. And I did a second one and also got some traffic. And then for years after, I got comments like, the install steps have changed, or I can't find that config anymore. It's not there's no JSON config. Where is it? Things like that, which is funny because I never really used the game engine after that. But they did go on to build, I'm going to forget the name. Is it like New World or something? I think it's called New World. It's like an MMORPG based on that engine, as far as I recall. Double check me. But they canceled that. I think just last year they announced it's dying. Yeah, anyways, that was Lumberyard. Now the new game engine is called Sandbox, I think. It's called S&ND box, maybe. I'll show it to you guys when we dive into it, but this is just kind of a prequel to that session. Hopefully we'll have here a little bit later. But yeah, in order to show you that, I got it installed on PC, and I don't think you can really see code like this. So I'm going to hook up this capture card. Funny thing about capture cards, I kind of thought they were like a dead thing, like you don't need them anymore kind of deal. I remember buying capture cards to like stream my Xbox to my I guess it was a laptop at the time, PC laptop to record and put on YouTube. I don't know what happened to that channel though. I can never find those videos. But yeah, that would have been like, was it like 2008? Maybe I was trying to do that. I don't even know what I was playing at the time. Guitar Hero, maybe. All right, that finished. Let's see how it looks. All right, more space utilization, more width utilization. I'm gonna full screen it. Look at this little bug here. Swift UI, gotta love it. That's hilarious. Yeah, so when you scroll, it's obviously leaking this part of the view up in this like header area. I'm gonna tell Codex about that. Looks like parts of the view is overlapping the header area when scrolling down. Also, let's make the left side panel collapsible. Oh, that's not how you spell it. Collapsible? Well, that's also wrong. Collapsible. Collapse. Doesn't matter. It would know either way. I don't have to get it right. Collapsible. And dynamically adjust the UI to what's the word to take advantage of all the space. Yeah, that's super wordy. I really should start using my voice to text for these sessions. Actually, I don't think I have it running on this. It's called Whisper. I always spell it wrong. Is it whisper like that? Whisper flow. Boom. Let's do some whispering, guys. I did notice I'm whispering on this thing sometimes, and I have a terrible vocal fry. I need to work on that. It's okay. I don't got any viewers right now, but I am recording this, and I'm gonna make some shorts out of it. Or my editor, Santiago, is gonna make some shorts out of it. Hopefully, there's some good content in this. We'll find out. Okay. While that works, I can now whisper. That command is crazy. What is that? That's a command arrow. No, so command plus option plus equals on this keyboard, which is like, you guys can't see it, but it's a very custom keycaps and everything. I can't actually tell what half these buttons are, but I think this is command option. There it is. Hello, can you hear me? There it is. Hello, can you hear me? So it gets everything right. It's really good. Called Whisper Flow. Check it out. It uses Whisper, if you ever heard of that. That's, I think, OpenAI or open source. I don't know if OpenAI owns it or if they have. Don't quote me on the OpenAI thing. But Whisper is a open source technology you can install on the command line to do voice to text. But Whisper Flow is an actual paid application that makes it really easy to use on different devices. Warp here also has voice input. Let's try that real quick. Hey, how good are you at voice to text input? Hey, how good are you at voice to text input? Yeah, pretty good. So I don't think I pay for the Whisper Flow. I think I'm on a trial or something, or the free version. But one cool thing about this, and maybe you can do this with Warp as well. Warp's a great terminal. Check it out. Is you can do snippets. So if I say, well, ignore that. If I say, like, I don't know, Randroid's Dojo, and it keeps interpreting it as Randroid's Mojo, I have no idea what it would do. I can change. There's two things. There's a dictionary, and there's the snippets. So the dictionary, I think, is where you can put in like custom names and stuff. But the snippets is if I wanted to go to a URL real quickly, like Randroid.dev, right? My website. If you wanted to go there real quick, or Randroid.dev/blog, I could say, as a snippet, I could just say the words my blog, and that would get translated to the URL. And so if I was in a text box or in Chrome, if I was actually, or Dia, if I was actually in, if I was actually here and I said, I already forgot the command, my blog, it's just going to say my blog, right? But if I did a new snippet called share with team, no snippets, my blog, and then you expand it to randroid.dev. I don't even know if this is my blog anymore. We'll find out. In theory, I should be able to do my blog. Took a little longer, taking longer than usual. All right, so it did it. You get the point. And that is not my blog. I recently moved over to Vercel. My blog is here. It's all, oh, it's hashtag blog because it's a header or whatever. I need to write another blog. All right. I was just trying to save. I was vamping for time, as they say. Looks like that did something. We're gonna go back into our app here. Build. Same old, same old. I could also just tell Codex to build and reinstall every time. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'm going to tell it update your agents.md, which may or may not exist yet for this project, but agentsmd is like a prompt, or it's rules or guidance for any agent, really. Like Gemini uses it or can use it, Cursor can use it. In this case, I'm using Codex can use it. Claude by default doesn't use it. Claude actually will use Claude.md. They kind of created the pattern, but they didn't want to adapt to the industry standard agentsmd, unfortunately. So what you can actually do as a hack, though, is you can, let me see if I have one. You can create a Claude.md, and then you can do an @agentsmd. So I do have that here in this project. And I do that in most of my projects. It's just like a standard practice. That way, when I add something to my agentsmd for Codex, whenever I'm in Claude, Claude will also follow those rules. Cool. And that should be installed. We got a lot of crap open. You know, one thing I realized the app's not going to do for us is it's not going to close extra windows. See how many extra windows I have there? So if we go look at this, this is going to have, supposed to have two things on it. Let's check the UI. UI is still broke. Whatever. We'll come back to that. I'm going to trigger this, F9, and it put Finder right here and Warp underneath it. But if I show you, expand and show you everything else, it still has Whisperflow, Snagit, other apps. But that's fine as long as this ordering works. So to show you the ordering again, I can swap these. Let's put Warp at the bottom. Maybe this intuitively is backwards. This is drop here to move to the front. Oh, okay. So like if you had a long list, you could just drop it there. Ah, but this is backwards. The app list controls stacking for this display. Later items are raised later, so they end up above earlier ones. Yeah, so it's like very confusing. This is actually just basically lying. To be on the front, you want to be on the bottom, but when I drag here, it puts it at the top. Yeah, that's broken. All right, let's say I wanted Warp on top, then I want it like this. Hit my shortcut, and there you go, Warp on top. And you can't even see Finder because it's so small, and Warp takes up the whole screen. But I can click it, Finder back on top. Again, you guys get the idea. The way I really would want to configure this is probably more like this. You know what? I think there's a couple different ways. Or used to be able to just type your coordinates. Oh, there's the full screen button. Cool. I didn't see it added this. That's wrong, right? I don't even know what's happening there. Yeah, this is partly why this app is not, well, not really, but I was gonna say it's not public on my repo yet. But it's kind of nice that it's not, because it's kind of crap. But I'll work out the kinks. Honestly, I've heard a lot about SwiftUI over the years and how professional apps end up going back to the old way because it's just like kind of janky. Sorry, just can't stop clicking that. Is this bigger or is this bigger? Okay, I think this one is slightly bigger. Another way you can add apps is through this menu here. So if I wanted to, Epic's Game Launcher, I didn't even know I had that installed. So I could add that. And then, yeah, so I guess you grab this to change the size. I guess that a little janky here. Used to be able to just type the size, which kind of is useless. Who's going to know what X, Y position they want, right? So it's better to be able to move it. Just need to fix the jank. Anyways, I was trying to like do like half screen. Another thing I might add is like, yeah, maybe there's like a easy way to half screen and full screen. Like clicking this, does that full screen? No. Double clicking isn't full screen. Yeah, so you kind of think of all the nice to haves features to make this like really good. But honestly, you're probably not going to set this up too much. Like I want to use this for work, especially. And when I'm pair programming and sharing my screen and I need to jump between different things or quickly access the same bookmarks and the same thing, like for different meetings every day, the same setup, and I just want to quickly get to that setup, now I'll be able to do it with this. So is it jank? Yes. But once it's up, we'll get the power to do this. So anticlimactic. Okay, there it goes. All right. Yeah, and you can see how jank it is. It's not very lined up, but not because it won't put it where you tell it. It's because I told it to put it there. If you go back and look, this is like super overlapping, and yeah, it's just a mess. I'd have to go smaller, something more like that. Yeah, it's still off screen, so maybe there is actually a problem with the positioning. That was off screen, right? I'm not crazy. Like this would be like on screen. Yeah, no, it would be like a lot smaller, I think, if the resolution was correct. Oh, I figured it out. There's a minimum resolution on this app. Who does that? I guess Epic, because they have these pretty pictures and pretty UI. Okay. Well, see, we found another edge case. Software's not easy, guys. This is why vibe coding can be done by anyone, but honestly, there's a lot to it that people don't think about. And an engineer is going to have better intuition. And me, not being a desktop app developer, I don't necessarily have that intuition when it comes to window sizing and stuff. But, mobile apps, web apps, games, maybe even to a certain extent, I might have some intuition about how things should work, and that's going to help me as a more experienced engineer, whereas a non-technical person coming to vibe coding, like your startup CEOs and your product people, or even as junior devs come to it, they're not going to necessarily have those instincts. And you could ask Codex, you could definitely talk to Codex about this problem. It's going to have solution ideas, but good luck figuring out which one of those is actually the best idea. I say all this knowing that they're just getting better and better, and so it's not like I am bulletproof in my future career either. I actually am not sure where things are going in that regard. We'll see. All right, I spent enough time poking around with this. I just want to show that to you guys. Currently working on it. Definitely need... Okay, it is collapsible. It's just, yeah, you have to drag. I was like, well, did you forget about that feature request? Yeah. So a lot of stuff to work on, but decent. let me know if you're interested. Like I said, I'm gonna open it, share the repo, and put it on my website even. So take a look if you're interested. Let's move on to something else. Alrighty. I don't like that this is here anymore, but I guess it does make it easier when I need to show you guys something down here. I lost, did I close it? Okay, there we go. Hey, we've got a chatter. Welcome, where you're. I don't know how to say your name, sorry. Hello, I'm Jesus, 12-year dev, senior platform engineer, heavily working with AI agents for software archaeology research and legacy modernization. Holy crap, that's a real job. Trying to implement an MCP, here to learn. Nice. Build your own or use someone else's MCP? How are things going over there? Here due to the agentic coding anyways. Cool. The specific windows have limit of that resolution. Oh, you caught that problem before I did. Yeah. Cool. By the way, where Eeyore? We are organisms. Wow. That's that archaeology research. Cool. Legacy modernization. Do you mean you are refactoring old code? Is that what you mean? Or are you talking about, I'm trying to build one of my own. Oh, MCP. Cool. The only tip I can really give you is check out FastMCP. They've got a Python and a TypeScript version. So I don't know if you're working in those stacks. They might have other versions at this point. I haven't checked, but I built one last year for a company, and it's going strong. It's very useful for that company. But I haven't worked on it in probably 4 or 5 months, so I don't know what's changed in that space with MCPs in particular, but FastMCP was a great abstraction for us. I built it on a server separate from our actual agent runtime, so the agent runtime went on one server and then it connected through MCP has a few protocols. SSE, I think, is the one we used. Maybe it's the other one. But FastMCP makes that connection and abstraction stuff and the authentication like much easier. I'm assuming it's this one. Yeah, I think the name comes from, because in Python they have Fast API, I think it's called. And so this is like FastMCP in the same vein. Yeah, check it out. It worked really well for us. Like I said, the Python one is the main one, but we ended up going with TypeScript Node just because the developers on that project were more familiar with it. Though I have been doing more. Python is another language. We were just talking about Swift. Python is another language where, to be fair, I used it back in the Python 2 days, but I never really like mastered Python. I'm more of a type guy, and they have that kind of weird types, you know. But it's great for scripting and stuff. So I do love using Python. But now with coding agents, I use Python all the time for local tools. So I do a lot of eval libraries for companies where you evaluate the agent's performance and do a lot of data analysis and Python with like Jupyter notebooks and stuff. I don't know why everyone uses Python for those cases. Maybe because you don't have to compile it. It's just super fast runtime. But yeah, I use a lot of Python for that. But on the particular project I'm talking about, we didn't do that. So the TypeScript version of FastMCP, I don't know if it's the same folks or not. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, so I don't know how compatible they are, but same concept. I have a few questions and scenarios. I would like to ask your opinion. Do you have time? Yeah, I'm open. Yeah, I don't usually get chatters. I'm trying to get more serious about streaming, so I welcome all the questions. almost basic theoretical knowledge of it. MCP, yeah. Type out your questions or whatever, but I'm by no means no expert, but the idea, here's what I tell people when people want to talk about MCP, like the history of MCP that I know of it. It predates agentic coding CLIs, so around 2022, 2023, 2024, whatever. There was MCP came about, Anthropic made it, the guys who make Claude, and the idea was to create almost like an API server for ChatGPT, Claude, desktop, chatting app type connections. More than that, I think they imagine servers, agents talking to each other across servers, or websites would expose these MCP servers as a new way for agents to interact with their backends or whatever. Honestly, there's just regular APIs could do it. You don't have to use an MCP, but one of the advantages is the tools like now Claude Code and Codex, when they came along, they adopted MCP, and you could go and install somebody's MCP remote server or local, where you actually host it like in Docker or something, and you can connect to it while chatting with Claude. So if I open up Claude, you can do /MCP. And so you'll see out of the box, it comes with some. Claude has some options for Gmail, Calendar, Notion. So a lot of people kind of coalesced around, like, we're going to use this protocol for interacting with agents and command line tools. But then later on, hey, we got a YouTuber commenter as well. Hello. Just talking about MCPs. Yeah, and so last year, I believe, Anthropic starts coming out with skills, and then everyone adopted skills. And skills are, and there's things in between that. There's commands and whatever. But my point is, skills are now the kind of like go-to thing for Claude and Codex when you're just doing agentic coding and you want to create a reproducible. It's not just a script. So the way skills work is it starts as just a prompt that you write down once in a markdown file, and then you go and you find your skill. So I have a couple skills here I made myself. There's one for finding other skills. The Godot skill that I made. In past videos, I talk about it. Loop was my version of a Ralph loop. A Slipbox is my version of a second brain. Task tracking dots is an abstraction around something like beads, if you've heard of that, but much more lightweight. And I try to make same thing I did with Godot. I try to do for Unreal. And then like some standard ones are front-end design plugin. Claude, everyone recommends you do this. If you're ever doing front-end design, you want this plugin. Plugin equals skill in this case. But yeah, so it's a prompt. You can actually go find the front-end Claude skill. I know this is a tangent. I'll get back to MCPs in a second. You can find it, and I think this one's probably just a prompt. So if you look at it, this is it. It's on Claude Code's repo, which is funny because this week Claude Code actually leaked their source code. Whole nother topic. I won't go down that road right now. But yeah, basically you have this front matter, it's called, that will have a description of it. And then the cool thing about skills is when you're talking to your agent, you're like, hey, I'm working on a front end. It will automatically pull in this skill. And so it will pull in all of this information, which honestly isn't that much, but it's basically good practices for building better websites and such, and what to never do. And so it basically reads this into the context, and then from then on in that chat, it will try to follow these guidelines. But skills are more advanced than that, or they can be, and they can also have a script. And so this will just basically say, run this bash script. And so a lot of teams are building their own skills. You can host them in GitHub to share with other people. You can host them on skills.sh. Vercel made this. It's quite popular. Just be super careful when you're taking a skill off the web. I think they're getting a little bit better about like seeing, like, this shows you how many people install it, so like you can kind of trust it, especially if it's from Vercel Labs. But be super careful, because there's easy ways to get pwned by hackers and whatnot by installing other people's skills. But yeah, I have one on here actually. I think if you look for Randroid, there you go. Godot, Unreal, Loop, Task Tracking, and Slipbox. So the way this works is I have a repo, Randroid Dojos /skills, and you can go look at that. I won't dive into it anymore, but the reason I bring this up is because the main reason I was using, and a lot of people were talking about MCPs, was basically for the reason people use skills now. And so you don't really need MCPs anymore. I think the one I still use is like maybe for like Notion integration or something, but and then everything else is just skills now. Anyways, so I get that out of the way because a lot of people talk about that. I guess the downside to MCPs in this case is that maybe they fixed this or something. I don't think so though. I think the downside to MCPs is that Claude will always read the entire prompt of an MCP at startup. So when you start up Claude, it just kills your context for all the MCPs you might have. But skills, it only reads that front matter until you actually need it. Whatever. But MCP still has value in, enterprise space, and think of it as like if you were going to do like an API, a public API for your backend, a normal REST API. You would give that to a vendor or something to interact with your backend, your database, or whatever, to get data, to add data, whatever. And MCP is the protocol for doing that with an agent. So an agent knows how to connect, create a session, authorize itself, whatnot. And so you can have two companies, or you can have like the way I used it in the past is that a front end that would call one of the backend services that had an agent runtime, and that agent would be able to call any tool that it wanted. So think of tool as a skill that an MCP hosts, basically. Sorry, long rant. I'm going to read your question now. I'm building a base of knowledge that's your purpose, okay? Will be used to describe an entire software ecosystem. This ecosystem has 500 projects, from libraries to services and entire applications. My idea is to manage it in a base of knowledge in documents and layer these docs repositories with a database for indexing the content, and then provide the MCP clients with a more explicit and specific request to get data from the MCP server. Do you know if there are tools that cover this pattern or help to manage indexation in large MCPs layer? So my first thought, and again, I'm by no means an expert, I would have to dig a little deeper and see what you're working on exactly, but my first thought is that MCP is not necessarily the right tool for the job, or at least not completely. Maybe there's a component of it where you need MCP. But my very first thought is that you want RAG and a vector DB. Now, maybe you've already considered that and you're like, oh, that's super naive. You don't get what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, you definitely want to look into RAG and vector DBs. Already have the workspace that generates this base of knowledge. Okay, cool. Well structured and working. Also workspace for modernizing solutions. When you say workspace, what does that look like? So again, if you've heard of this, apologies. But yeah, so RAG is one of those techniques in agentic systems that got popular probably back in the ML days. Like, it's vectorizing databases, at least, has been around a while. But RAG specifically is to retrieve data think of a chatbot that would use this to retrieve relevant data to answer like a question. So like, think of an FAQ on a website. Someone's got a question, it goes and finds the right FAQ answer. But it doesn't just search by text. It needs it's not technically semantic, it needs similarity search. And so in order to do a similarity search on text, you ingest all of the data into a database, but before you do, you vectorize it, or sorry, you embed it, or you have an embedding model that knows how to vectorize it. Sorry, I'm probably mixing up all the terms here. Oh yeah, right here, similarity search, exactly. So the way it works is, I guess it has to vectorize the question as well, the way this looks at least. And then it finds things that are similar to your question. There's a ton of different ways to actually correlate questions with answers and stuff. So this is like a very naive way of talking about it, because like what is similar? Is it the question, like there's a word in the question that's similar to the answer, or is there something? Anyways, I'm not giving a good example of it, but this is the overall idea behind this. And then once it's got the similar relevant information, and it will give it back to your agent, and then your LLM will decide what to do with that information. So it could just spit it back to you, but more often than not, it will loop again if needed to get even more answers, and then it will output once it feels like it finally has the right kind of information. So I can probably better explain it with an example if I thought about it, but I just want to make sure you've thought about data retrieval in that way first before you jump to MCP. Let me make sure. An agentic configured workspace with skills, agent configuration, workflows, rules, etc. to perform a specific task or work in a specific domain, like archaeology researching, modernization.NET solutions in order to build in current development environment technologies, or manage documentation as code knowledge base. I'm starting to get what you're saying. So is this a tool? Tell me if I'm sniffing up the right tree, or whatever the phrase is, barking up the right tree. Is this a tool for legacy systems that you don't necessarily want to touch, but you want to understand? And so you keep saying archaeology. I'm assuming you don't literally mean archaeology research, or maybe you do, but I'm thinking you mean archaeology as in digging through old code, old systems. Is that right? And so you have, it sounds like your workspace is like a dev environment workspace, actual workspace, not like an agent runtime. Maybe it has an agent runtime, but a dev workspace. And, like I have my terminal here with Claude could be my dev workspace, or even Claude Desktop has Cowork now, which is more of a non-technical, people use this more often, like they use Claude Code. It also has a Claude Code tab, by the way. Think of the chat tab as your normal ChatGPT. Cowork is where you can actually make projects, like you were saying, configuration, workflow, rules. You can start doing all this from the file system, much more non-technical visual way of operating in this space, right? But this also gets access to, skills, MCPs, all kinds of things, connectors as they call them here, plugins. Software archaeology researching. Okay, so I'm right in that it's not actual archaeology digging in the dirt. Like if you get to Egypt or Machu Picchu of the software, and you start digging and investigating what were going on there. Yeah, okay, so you used Egypt and Machu Picchu, so I'm like, okay, it is digging in the dirt, but I see you're still going with the analogy. Okay, yeah, so you're looking at like an old, I don't know, medical software, or something running in, oh my god, what are those old languages I can't even think of, that are like running all of our government infrastructure or something. So really old, really crappy, never refactored, never maintained, software based. Yes, I've worked in some of those myself. So you wanna investigate, like, do you want to like figure out how they got to that point, or do you just want to like have a better abstraction so you can use the software, retrieve the data that's in an old ass database or something? Anyways, not only a metaphor. You actually are talking about digging in the dirt. Okay, it's very confusing because it's software archaeology is a thing too. But yeah, maybe you can answer the question. in your workspace, you talked about configuration, workflows. I'm looking, what do you have for the data layer? Are you storing, are you retrieving data and storing it yourself? How are you doing that retrieval? How are you storing it currently? I love talking about this stuff. This is fun. This thing I have on screen was the reason I brought this up was to talk about how your workspace could just be Claude desktop for a lot of stuff. I see product people using this a lot now, designers even. But they let you build these little widgets or whatever you want to call it inline. It's all HTML, so you can actually download it and run in a browser too. But I vibed this like a couple sessions ago just to like kind of understand rigging and posing of models. Wave, kick, bow. Yeah, so I don't know if my ramblings have. Okay, there you go. At this moment, I'm working on an analysis and first load of the data. Sorry, there's some UI over your text in Twitch. What is going on there? Video is fine. Analyzing all the documents and then make a summary and fill templates of the indexing database like, but looking for better ideas. Do you need this to be reproducible across different systems, different sets of data, or is this a one-time thing you're doing for a particular like company, a particular data set, particular system? Or are you trying to make a generalized tool that you're going to go and sell to a certain market? Because if it's a one-off thing, you know, you can make that work ad hoc, whatever. But if you're trying to like make a product that does this repeatedly and in all kinds of different scenarios, that's where I need a lot more details. But yeah, I'm sort of getting what you're saying here. Analyzing all the documents. Okay, so you're saying you're loading them to the database. So you're getting them somehow, putting them in the database, analyzing the documents, and then make a summary and fill out templates. Mental map. Source code, researching workspace and documentation of source code. Documents repository. First load analyzing database loading. Interesting. Let me show you the closest thing I've ever done to that. Again, not touching on MCP at all. I believe maybe MCP would come in that mental map. MCP might come in when you're, let's see, source code to researching workspace and documentation of source code. Like maybe your workspace needs a way to get the code other than just checking it out. Maybe there's an MCP there. Source code to documents repository. Don't think you need MCP there. Just documents documents repository to first load analyzing and database load. So into your service. Yeah, so maybe from the docs repository to your service, you would need to retrieve it somehow. Maybe an MCP. Still doesn't smell like MCP to me. That's the first part. Okay. MCP comes later maybe. Yeah, so let me show you. I've done some of those pieces for, I mentioned it earlier, Slipbox. So Slipbox works with a private repo that only I can see that stores markdown files. So I can go, again, I can show you it's indexed and it has notes. Honestly, there's nothing, I didn't really put a bunch in here yet, but you can see that these are kind of indexed. And so maybe you're doing something like this, where you're just having an LLM take a piece of data or learning, maybe a learning about the source code, whatever you want. You could just store it as a markdown file. It gets an ID, right? So you could do something as basic as this, and then the index. I'm running. Again, this is where vectorization comes in. I'm running a similarity algorithm or whatever every time I add a new note. And so this is an example of two notes that link to each other because they have a similarity. And then this is the actual embeddings that I was talking about. And so they're just vectors. And so you might want something in this space. This is why I would look into embeddings, vectors, RAG. But yeah, so this is how my data gets stored raw. And then the question is like, okay, cool, but how do I hook it up to my workspace, my service, whatever? And so there's a couple components to that. So the actual public one that anyone could pull, you can go pull this right now if you want. It's all the code that I use to create those notes. It's all here. So you can steal any of this or whatever. Concept, by the way, it's the name Slipbox comes from this German word Zettelkasten. I have no idea. I don't know German. Personal knowledge management method using interconnected atomistic notes to foster creative thinking. This project helps with creating permanent notes from fleeting thoughts or literature, linking them to existing notes and organizing them to build a second brain. A lot of people talked about second brain when Claude bot came out, or whatever it's called now, OpenClaw. So this actually gets hosted. You can't really do anything from this except I think, let me just go back. I think it's in the README. There's an API. And so I actually have an API, not MCP, just straight good old fashioned REST API that I could hit like any other REST API using a curl or whatever to add notes, to summarize notes. You talked about summarizing. So here's my you gave me a arrow diagram. Here's mine. The user will talk to an LLM. The LLM will hit the API. What's missing here is actually I created a skill. So you could use MCP or a skill that knows about this API. Or you could just use curl. Hit the API. There is an auth part. It does the auth. And then the API uses OpenAI's embedding. So there's a third-party service. There's open source versions of embeddings as well, but I just use OpenAI. It's pretty cheap. And then that ends up calling GitHub because for whatever reason I decided to use GitHub as my database. Not actually a database, obviously, data store. And then that will store the files in my private repo that I just showed you earlier. So submit a raw thought, you go to API add note, Slipbox will then normalize it, generates an embedding, finds similar notes, and commits everything to that repo that you saw at the beginning. And then run passes periodically or nightly via GitHub actions to recompute links, clusters, and tensions. This is the key. Once you get a bunch of data and you got it similarity links, you can summarize it, but then you're going to add to it. So do you summarize it again? What if you get a note that contradicts the first note, right? Like you have to start like deprecating old notes, and like there's a bunch of theories about how to manage this kind of thing. And I'm just scratching the surface with this particular project. But then you can summarize that data in any way you want. There's a million different prompts you can give an LM to summarize it, look for certain patterns. But in this case, I wanted to pull out themes. So I made an API called theme data, and the LM can call that, and it will synthesize meta notes per cluster. What that basically means is it's going to look at all the individual notes and how they're linking, and the ones that have a lot of links, it's going to go, oh, you have a lot of notes about Harry Potter. You're reading Harry Potter, whatever. And so it will create a meta note and be like, Harry Potter seems to be a big part of your life or whatever. And that gets stored again as a note. And then you can do more things on top of that once you got layers of meta. And here's some of the other APIs. Anyways, I'll send this to you. I have no idea if any of this is is it illicit? Illicits is what, let me read the whole thing. Nothing I have here is illicit, if that's what you're saying. Maybe Slipbox and PrivateBox sound bad. I didn't mean it that way if it sounds bad. No, they're personal thoughts. They're thoughts. So I have a notes app I use, and so this was an idea of like maybe I can just link all my notes through time. So the story here is the guy who made this original concept ended up writing a bunch of books throughout his career by writing little notes and linking them and mapping them out. And what he realized is like, hey, there's a book worth of material here. And so he would read a lot of books and he would take notes and his ideas and inspiration, and just write them down. And then he would like group them and organize them in a way where themes would come out, and then he would write books about it. At least that's my understanding of the original concept. And so they're called atomic ideas or atomic notes, because they're just like in the moment. Whatever I was doing, I was working, I was reading, whatever, I had this one thought. And so you just put that into the system, and then the tools around it is what links it, and the patterns start to show. It's kind of the idea behind it. All right, let me read this again. The next thing, and what I want to do now, is to use the documents repository knowledge. Sorry, got distracted. The next thing, and what I want to do now, is to use the documents repository knowledge as base of knowledge to understand how I can architecting the migration and modernization of a legacy ecosystem. Yeah, so you have a end goal in mind. You want to get some learnings out of this data, but you want to collect it first, and then you want to analyze it. And kind of, you can see the analogy here with what I built, where you want to pull out the themes. So in your case, you want to figure out how you can better architect it or migrate it. Yeah, okay, I get it. I'm pretending to maintain it up to date while the modernization and migration project is being performed, helping to understand the dependencies, technologies, and structure. Finalizing with a self-descriptive ecosystem development environment powered with AI agents and MCP with the description of any project and architecture. Finalizing with a self-descriptive ecosystem development environment powered with AI agents. So what I get out of that is that you are trying to make a product out of this that can be reused for any project, and the platform you're building, whatever, will use AI agents to do the probably extraction of the data and the analysis of the data, suggestions of how to clean up the code and all that stuff. And MCP is how you plan to connect the LLM to your services. So yeah, I would just say if you are going to give an all-in-one environment and not just like tell folks to use Claude Desktop and add an MCP, then I don't think you need MCP. You could do what I did, and you could just create an API to your service and just host the service using whatever backend you want. Personally, I wouldn't bother with an MCP. How did I get my LLM to talk to an API is a good question. I think it's in here somewhere. Docs, app, source types. Oh, you know what? I think it's in my skills repo. Yeah, because we saw it earlier. That's how we got down this train. Funny it's not mentioned here. I might not have gone back and updated this README, but if you go and look at, we were there earlier. Oh, not that one. Where the heck is it? If you go and look at, it's on my games. If you go and look at, not Slipbox, skills. So if you go and look at skills repo here. I bet, yeah, it's got to be in here. So I didn't use an MCP. I basically told it to do right here. Interact with the Slipbox semantic knowledge engine and read notes from private box. So, Codex, Claude. Let's look at Claude. I have Codex and Claude plugins, but yeah, nah, that's just to set up the marketplace. The skills are actually shared. I think it's sim-linked or something. Is it plugins? There we go. Slipbox. I'll send this to you as well. So I don't use an MCP. I use a skill, and the skill tells ChatGPT or Claude this. So this tells it when to use it, what it does. Interact with Slipbox semantic knowledge engine and read notes from private box. Use when capturing ideas, searching notes, browsing your knowledge graph, or running semantic analysis passes like link cluster intention. Compatibility, it does require this API key and this URL, which are all part of setting up your own Slipbox. It's all in the other repo. You can follow the README. If you do try it, let me know how it works for you, and if you have any troubles. Set up these environment variables. Reading private box notes requires a GitHub token. That's just because I use GitHub as my data store. You could probably swap that out pretty easily if you wanted to. Before doing anything else, run the setup check below. Do not skip this step. So everything you're reading here is meant for an LLM to read. A human can read it too, obviously, but so an LLM will first try to set up, or it'll check if all these API keys have been set up. If not, then you need to update whatever you're using to run this skill with the proper credentials, basically to access the private data. So MCPs have a very specific way of doing OAuth and whatnot, but when you're just doing your own API, you kind of have to come up with your own. So I literally just made up these keys, created secrets for them, and gave them to my application that's hosted in Vercel, and then I gave them to Claude or whoever's using this skill as an environment variable, which I know sounds like what, but this is just the public key. I guess it's not public. There's a couple layers of auth in there though. It's like it is hosted, but you can't just go to the website and see the key being passed around or anything like that. Anyways, do your own security check. You can probably make that better too. So I wouldn't necessarily use this out of the box on a real project selling to somebody or with sensitive data. Do your own analysis, and maybe you do want an MCP just to get real OAuth. But this is a quick system if you want to start with something to try it out. All right, and then this will just say stop if it's not set up, and then go and make sure that the box is actually running. So in my case, my Vercel hosted one, but you can host your own very easily. So if all that's running, then you can actually use the API. So interact with the Slipbox semantic knowledge engine and browse your private box notes. Slipbox service, that's the URL. That's whatever repo you actually store things in. This is the environment variable setup. Quick reference. Okay, so it just does curls at the end of the day. If you were doing service-to-service communication, you would probably have something like Fast API or some abstraction, some HTTP library. There's a million out there. I could tell you more depending on your stack, but yeah, in this case, it's the LLM, so Claude or whatever will just do curl from the command line. You can add new notes. You can, what does this one do? What's the difference here? These are both, this is a meta note. Relink notes, so this computes the similarity using the embeddings. Cluster notes, detect conceptual tensions. So these are all concepts you can look up. I'm not an expert in them, but I was studying it a bit when I built this. But I got what I needed out of it, which was like these themes. But if I were to take this one step farther, I might have other APIs as well that do more than just extract themes. I might have something that goes in, I don't know, ejects old data or something. All right, that just goes more into the API. And so this is just telling Claude or Codex or whatever's running your skill how to actually interact with your API. And then yes, so there's a GitHub part of this API because again, I'm using that for my data store. So it tells you how to use it tells your agent how to use that skill. You probably wouldn't use GitHub in a real hosted service. What else? And then I can retrieve the data through GitHub because again, all the markdown files are there. All the note files are there. You could actually instead swap this out for a SQL DB. You can literally check in the .db into any repo and pull it down and then query it using SQL, SQL. Browse and explore. Yeah, so this one has commands in it. So here's another. Oh, okay. Why did I do this? Let me see. Interact Slipbox semantic. API calls verify. Quick reference. I don't remember why I have both. I think the whole point of this skills is I was trying to make it work across different providers. So you see there's like a Claude, there's a commands, references. But I think Claude actually got away from using the commands folder. I think it still works, but it's like deprecated. Anyways, I put it here in this format so that you could install it easily. It's the way you install Marketplace. You go plugin, and then you can go Marketplaces, add Marketplace. So I actually don't have my market. Interesting. Maybe I removed it. Let me see if I can add it back. It's like I'm supposed to put owner repo. So Randroid's Dojo /skills. Cool. And then Slipbox install for you for all collaborators. I would put it in the project if you want to like check it in. Yeah, so I'll just install this globally. And now I have Slipbox. And I don't have any in the environment variable, so this is going to give me that error. Or do I have them? Did it just echo them out? No, they're missing. Okay. This one seems to be set. Did I set this up on this machine? Oh, crap. And it's healthy. I might have. Holy crap, I did. Run analysis, synthesize, explore. Browse your notes. Let's try it. Yeah, so the plan was to like do this from my phone, but I never actually connected ChatGPT or anything. Oh shit. Okay, it is hooked up. It's grabbing my notes. I'm sorry I had to AFK for a couple of minutes. I didn't hear the latest things you said since you were reading my last questions. Just a summary, please. Oh, you heard what I said about your last question? I think I was just showing you that you may not need an MCP. It depends if you're building your own like real software you're going to sell to people. Maybe you do need something that sophisticated, but I was just showing you you could just have a regular API. And so as an example of that, I was showing you how I create notes and synthesize them and pull out learnings for the Slipbox project using this skill. So this skill here describes how you set up the environment, the auth stuff, which probably, let's just say it's not as secure as an actual MCP using OAuth, but good enough for my project. And then it's just literally hitting the endpoints of my hosted service using curl. So you could just create an API for accessing, synthesizing, whatever your data. You don't need necessarily an MCP. MCP would be useful if you don't want to give them an all-in-one system, like a service like I have here, and just like a skill where they can install it in their favorite application, but you want to actually build the application, in this case, this part too, like how they connect to it and communicate with it, and not just a skill, then maybe you want an MCP. But I'm not hearing anything yet that makes me think you truly need an MCP. But anyways, MCP was just one of your questions. I do think you need to look more into vector DBs and embeddings and stuff. But yeah, once you let me know, check back in. I want to see where you're at, what part you're getting stuck on. Like, do you actually have your agentic runtime yet? That's like, by that I just mean something that is sending text to Claude or OpenAI, whatever, some LLM hosted somewhere, and then deciding on calling tools maybe, or looping and making decisions, whatever. Your agentic runtime. Like, once you have that in place, I can help a little more explain like what your next step might be. But yeah, are you trying to run this locally? Because then you might need like an offline model. But if you're trying to run it in a hosted service somewhere, how are you going to interact with that service? Is there a front end component to this? Like, there's so many different questions. But honestly, I was really glad you asked, because I hadn't looked at this in, 4 months, it said. And apparently I still have it set up, which is great. Cool. Here's my notes. Hopefully there's nothing cringy in here. AI autonomously exploring theory space by tweaking foundational assumptions. All right, I may have gone a little deep down the Einstein relativity rabbit hole. Systems should enforce correctness structurally, retry logic as invariant, append only system with eventual reconciliation transaction. Yeah, these are some deep thoughts. And then I have this, hey, idea for a game: Angry Birds Plants vs. Zombies game concept, physics, and adaptive enemies. So the whole point is, like, these are random thoughts and they don't really make sense to anyone else. They probably don't make sense in isolation. But if I would have done more than 8 of them, if I actually put all my random thoughts here, I'd be able to start making connections, right? So would you like to dive into any note? Explore connections. Like, I don't even know how related any of these are. I need a lot more data before I can really get any meaningful synthesis of like combining these to actually form, I don't know, an app or a book, or I don't know what I would do with the learnings in the end. All right, so we do have some clusters. Append only systems. Okay, so these 3 are systems and structures thinking. This is agency, intent, creativity. That's weird that Angry Birds actually somehow got linked to this other stuff. Less self-optimization, more service. Escalate with solutions, not just problems. That's funny that it found a cluster here. I don't really see the connection. But that's the point. If you get more data, it will recluster, and things will start to get a little better map to each other or whatever. And then explicit links, only one, which is these 2 links. These 2 nodes got linked together with an 89% near duplicate. Both are about AI exploring theory space autonomously. So I might have actually put a duplicate in there. I don't recall. These 2 nodes are in different clusters, which is worth noting. The clustering engine separated them, likely because this landed with systems nodes. Tensions. I forget what tensions even is. Conceptual friction within clusters. The most interesting tension is in cluster 0. These 2 nodes have only a 44 similarity. Enforce correctness structurally versus append only plus eventual reconciliation. These aren't contradictory, but pull in opposite directions. One favors invariance constraints, and the other favors looseness and deferred. See, this is where shit gets real. This is pretty insane how this stuff works. I won't pretend to fully understand the math behind this, but this is kind of cool that I captured 2 random thoughts, and it's like, these are kind of going in opposite directions. Anyways, I really glad I got to show that to somebody. It's like, wow, I wanted to work on that again. So cool. I do want to jump to something else though. I'm going to go look up what your name means again. We are organisms. Thank you for asking such an awesome question. Sorry I rambled a lot, but keep in touch. Let me know if I can check out code or anything. I would love to do a code review or even try out your product. I don't have a bunch of legacy systems handy to run something like that, but hey, if it's good enough, if it's very useful, I may use it on an actual client project someday. You never know. Who knows? But yeah, let's switch over to set up the PC. So we can talk about the game engine. Maybe I can install it. Right now I have Crimson Desert, the game I wanted to play up, but my data never synced. Something's wrong with it. But before I jump into gaming, I can end this vibe coding session with a little deep analysis of a new game engine. I don't know how far we're going. It's getting a little late here. 12:30 a.m. here in Austin, Texas. Dude, I'm just gonna rip this thing open. It's cheap. Like I said, it's called the AverMedia Streamline Mini Plus. It's like, I forget how much it was, 60, 70 bucks or something. Definitely less than 100. Whereas the what's the mainstream capture cards called? You'd recognize the name if I told you. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but holy crap, where I got 30 followers, guys, in Twitch. I've had that goal for like 2 years. First time chatter. Hey, Shade Extreme. Hey, what were you vibe coding? Well, you might just have to watch the VOD. No, we started out, I'll just do a quick recap. We started out talking about this tool here. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna open source it right now. Commits and push. The UI is pretty jank, but basically it's a little menu app on with just a little settings UI here, built in Swift UI for managing your desktop windows. So like this is an example of this monitor. I have 3 monitors. This monitor having a terminal here, Finder here, and some random app here, and then I go and I run the shortcut, and then it just puts the windows where I wanted them. That was a weird one. Didn't actually go. It's got some jank in it. Finder on top. What is this? That's Dia. I don't know if that actually did. Looked like it didn't open Epic Games, right? Oh, okay, because it's broke. Let's try one more time. So if I put, let me just go to the background here. There we go. Nope, did that work? Whatever. Dia's on top. That's good enough. All right, one more time. There we go. Kind of did the thing. Oh, it didn't do Finder. Something's wrong with it. Anyways, I'm not trying to troubleshoot right now. But yeah, I was just talking about this and how I vibed it and how you can install it. But it's got some jank in it for sure. Oh, now it does it. So I'm going to commit this, and you can go look at it yourself. But I've got a couple of apps on there, but mostly I do games. And then, so before I switch, let me just finish my thought here. I'm going to actually open source this. Too many damn tabs. This is why I built this app, by the way. I have too many tabs all the time, and I'm like, where did that window go? Okay, we literally just had. Oh, it moved. It moved. Okay, so I don't know. Here it is. This is the window I had open. Yeah, we went on a journey. We covered a lot of stuff, guys. Where's mine? Okay, one of these. Perfect. Yeah, so Magic Desktop, dumb name. Couldn't think of anything better. I really want to get started on it. Yeah, let me just go settings. How do I make this thing public? Change visibility. There we go. I want to make this repository public. I read and understand. I totally read it, guys. Oops. Hopefully that's not secret. It's fine. Open. Use GitHub Mobile, please. Yes. That's pretty cool. Happens to me as well. I just can't think of. I have so many tabs open. I hate it when I do that. Magic Desktop sounds all right. I think Magic Desk would fit better. I love it. Let's fork it. Fork it and rename it. Why does not... I hit passkey. Sorry. I don't think I actually have a passkey for GitHub, but like pretty much every time I try to log in, I end up clicking the wrong damn button. All right. Don't click that. Use mobile instead. All right. Don't hack me. Don't have my phone and open GitHub and type 46. Just kidding. Cool. That should be public now. I'll send you the link. If anyone wants to go in and put in a freaking PR to... Actually, I don't even think a lockdown main, honestly. If you just want to go and push a fix for anything you're seeing, that would be amazing. Everything I do pretty much that's not work related goes public, but not many people end up looking at it. But yeah, 100% Swift. I've never read this code. Please make it better. And a lot of the jank is because using Swift UI. But yeah, that's the first thing we started talking about. And then someone came in and asked a really good question. I don't know if you could see the past chat, but he's trying to build a software archaeology system. I never fully understood if there's an actual like dig in the dirt archaeology part to it. He said it's not only a metaphor, so I don't know, maybe we crossed some wires there, but essentially we started talking about MCPs somehow, skills, I don't know. But I was just telling him he probably needed to look into RAG, retrieval augmented generation, and vector DBs and some similarity search. And then that reminded me, it's like, oh, I totally did something like this. I made a skill for it even, and you can find it on vercelskills.sh called Slipbox. Here it is, but it's also on my GitHub. And then I just went down that rabbit hole talking about how this works. But basically, there's a couple of pieces to it. I won't go over the whole thing again, but one of the things is I have a skill where you can install it and you can actually use it. Did we do that in one of these tabs? Yeah, here. So what else can Slipbox do? So I've got Claude up here, Codex here. All right, it committed. Cool. All right, so what this tool can do is it can capture nodes and then link them, cluster them, tell you the tension between them, pull out theme data. It's kind of like a second brain, and it uses embeddings, and it uses GitHub as its data source. Anyway, so we started talking about this app. It's called Slipbox. Anyone can build it. Go read the README, and then check out the skill for it, because that's very handy if you want to add a new random note. But yeah, then we were going to talk about a new game engine that is only installable on PC. So then I got to installing my new capture card. So there was probably 1,000 other things in there, but those were the main beats. The new game engine is called Sandbox, I think. Oops. Doesn't like that. Sandbox. And then I want you to Google search. That's weird. Is this a DIA problem? It thinks that's a domain because I put and in there. That's hilarious. That's so funny. How do you... I've never seen that before, but I've never tried to search for the... Oops. Look at, there's already videos on it. They beat me to it. I was talking about how I did a video years ago for the Lumberyard game engine that got open sourced by Amazon, and how it was like my most popular video ever, even though I just barely just winged it or whatever. So I was like, oh, I need to make a video about this thing. So if you guys didn't see, the guy who made Gary's mod, don't know if you ever heard of that, but on Steam, you could like, all I remember is it had really good like vehicle mods or something. Like you could drive around vehicles in his little game engine. You've heard of it? Okay. Yeah, so Sandbox is a spiritual successor to Gary's mod and a love letter to Source 2. So Source 2 being the source engine that Valve made for Half-Life 2, Half-Life Alice, I don't know which one, but their newer version of their engine. They never open sourced the second version, but the first one got open sourced and people loved it. And so Gary, who's got a lot of success from not just building his modding tool or whatever it is, you can go play it. I think it's actually a game on Steam called Gary's Mod. Gary's Mod. It's literally right here. He also, I think he's the creator of Rust or something. No, am I mixing people up? Gary's, is it 2 R's? Gary's Mod and Rust. Am I crazy? I think I read that. Rust and Gmod. Gary's Mod and Rust are both popular influential titles developed by Facepunch. Yeah, okay. Okay, not the language, the game. Okay, good. For some reason I was thinking Rust, the language. Okay, whatever. I'm dumb. Okay, he created the game Rust, which was like super popular with streamers a few years back, and I was like, that was like the one time I really got hooked on actually watching Twitch. But yeah, Facepunch Studios. Anyways, apparently he's got a lot of money, and he's like, I want to give back to the community. Valve helped me out with their modding, tools and whatever. It was Source 1, so he wanted to open source Source 2. That's a confusing thing to say. But they didn't quite open source it. But what he did do is he built his own game engine called Sandbox, S&box, and he got a deal made with Valve to use a version of Source 2 that he highly mutated to work well with his game engine and not be so specific to Valve games. At least this is the way I read it when I read the news on this earlier in the week. And so you can use Sandbox without paying any royalties to Gary or Valve. That's the way I understood it. I think it's like in beta. It has this hilarious meme here. Congratulations, you have the developer preview. Open Steam to play. For advice on getting started, please click here. And so I did this earlier in the week on my MacBook and couldn't install it. Not compatible with Mac, so it's PC only. At least assumed. Maybe it's Linux. No, then it probably would be installable on Mac. But yeah, so I didn't read any of the docs yet. I was thinking maybe I'd vibe through these docs, get something to summarize it. But I just want to install it and launch the damn thing, right? So I've got my Steam behind me. Actually, that's Xbox right there. It's going to play some Crimson Desert later. But now I'm actually getting some chatters in here, so I won't bore you guys necessarily. Maybe I'll stop the stream and start a different one. So yeah, I got to hook up this capture card because you can't really see the screen very well like that. And my OBS is running on my MacBook. And I'm too lazy to go set up a second stream. So we're going to use a capture card. I've been vibe coding a remote access tool as a hobby. I use Quasar as base. Never heard of that. It's a pretty cool project. Remote access tool as in a hacker tool? Is that what we're talking about? Hacker tools over here? Nice. Did you ever get that, what was that little, what's it called? For pen testing. What? That little gadget that was on, oh my God, I'm tired. Crowdfunded. It was like a Flipper Zero. How the hell did you get that from that? Yeah. Did you have a Flipper Zero? That's what I thought of when you said access tool. I have one. Never really got it to do much, but maybe I changed it. Doesn't it have an IR blaster? So I might have changed some TVs at a bar once. I don't know. I was just talking to somebody this week about how Android phones used to have IR blasters in them. At least the one I had is an HTC Nexus, HTC One or something. Had an IR blaster on it. NFC reader, IR blaster, much more. Yeah. That's cool. So, remote access tool, is it going to work on a physical hardware like that, or is it just command line tool? Not just, but you know what I mean. Speaking of hardware, definitely feels cheap. I can't remember the name of, maybe Shade can figure it out by my vague terms. I can't remember the name of the very popular capture cards that go for $200 and do 4K and all that. But this one does 4K pass through and 1080p streaming, capture, whatever, and it's way cheaper. It's like a third of the price. All right, out in USB-C, pretty basic. Okay, well, this is gonna have to go in the Mac. We've got like 1,000 USB extension over here. Not 1,000. I've got 220. It's like 20s. All right, and then I need my out and my in. All right, let's try this. I was just saying I haven't used a capture card since back in the day, capturing like console footage, Xbox or something. This is DisplayPort, but I'm almost certain. Yep, I have HDMI's lying around here somewhere. This is DisplayPort as well. Guessing this is not. They're both HDMI. I said that. Also DisplayPort. I redid my room, mounted this guy on the wall, but I never like set up my second microphone and the second USB. There's like a bunch of stuff I haven't set up. I know I have HDMI's. Another thing I haven't set up. Check this out. I should find a reason to set it up. It's a Stream Deck, not Steam Deck. I have one of those somewhere too. Cable. Which one is another DisplayPort? I got some other display cable. Actual, it's like totally unrelated, but this is a rubber USB-C cable, like a jump rope or something, which it basically is now because it broke. All right, I know I have HDMI cables. Found a bag of goodies. So I cleaned up, which I should never do because I can't find anything. Oh man, these might be old. Okay, there's HDMI. Cool, it's kind of small. Pretty sure I have like an unopened giant HDMI cable around here somewhere. What is this? Oh, there's one. NFC reader, IR blaster. Oh, it's pretty much just a program for Windows. It uses port forwarding. It's like create an exe the stub and send that to you. And if you open that, I will get a pop-up on your device, all like client list on the builder, and I can pretty much take over your PC and help you. So it's used for ethical and unethical purposes. Nice. What was the thing? What was the pwn that happened recently? People like installed is like a LM Lite package or something. And they basically took over computers, ransomed them. It was in the news a couple weeks ago. I want out. I guess I do need the in. I need both. We need both. It's gonna reach. Oh, probably not. Ooh, that's tight. My PC. If I plug it directly, let's see. Okay. display port later. HDMI, where are you? Oh, this is not gonna reach. Almost. Oh, barely. Hilarious. Okay. I don't know if I need drivers for this or what. That was my power. Oh, yank the USB extension out. A worm. Here we go. This is a longer cable. Cables everywhere. Whatever. Should I switch it? Nah. It's hooked up. Right? Yeah, powered now. This mouse barely reaches. Yeah, I gotta figure out my setup here to be able to do mind reading. Bayesian narrowing. Elgato. Do you do simulators by chance? There was, sorry, I'm reading YouTube chat. There was a recent supply chain attack. Yes. Thank you. Neons on the Axios NPM package. Oh, that's not even the one I was thinking of. The one I was thinking of was like an LLM package. But there's been a ton lately. Yeah, YouTube's like, I swear it's like 2 minutes behind Twitch. So if I don't respond for a while, that's why. Well, that and I wasn't watching. Oh my god. I'm a knot in this mouse. I need every inch I can get. Are you serious? If I knew I would have viewers today, I would have prepared. Whatever. Good enough. I almost installed Minecraft somehow, just clicking randomly. Alright, get out of that. And you know what? We're not on HDMI. Let's switch. Where is the button? There it is. Source. HDMI. Okay. Find out if these cables work. Doesn't look like it. Gotta make one of these longer so we can try a different port. Not too bad. We have one HDMI. I know this one works, so I'm gonna use it. You need to go in the graphics card. Ah, it beeped. It's a good sign. Okay, swapping out a probably bad cable, let's be honest. With one I know works. How do I know it works? Because it was on my floor. Hey! That looks so much worse than the display port. You guys probably can't tell. I don't know if there's drivers for this thing or what. Ew, that's why it looks bad. Resolution's off. Let me see if OBS can see it. Full cam. Oh, I guess it wouldn't be drivers on the PC because it's plugged into the Mac. Nothing popped up here, did it? Let me add a new source. I think you're supposed to add it as a webcam source. Here's what I'm looking at. OBS. Media capture card device. No idea if this will work. That looks promising. Plug and play. Just switch to Twitch. Oh, are you Neons? I literally thought you were talking to me the whole time. Oh, that's like, I'm sorry. I was, but not in the way you're thinking. I was talking to everybody. No, I was talking to Shade, and then before that I was talking to, I have to scroll up every time. We are organisms is what his name stands for. Yeah, that's funny because you both said Flipper Zero. That's right. And that's the mind reading comment. Now it all makes sense. All right, this says it's working. So you guys can't see me, right? Okay, so I'm gonna make a new, I'm gonna duplicate this guy. We'll call this PC. All right, so I made PC here. I'm gonna get rid of the capture card on this guy. All right, I should have duplicated the other one. How do I grab? Can I copy this? Let's see how good this open source software is. Oh, beautiful. I love it when stuff just works. The rat I linked? What rat I linked? Oh, are you talking about, okay, yeah. I don't know what you're talking about when you say rat. Do you mean rag or do you mean, I'll just repaste everything. Let's see, copy link. So it's one thing I pasted. Ooh, what is that? I tried to copy out of my YouTube chat and it gave me a link to YouTube. Remote administration tool. Oh, okay. You guys are talking to each other now? I'm not used to having chatters. That's hilarious. Hilarious. Cool. Well, if anyone else joins on YouTube, you'll get this message in like 15 minutes. Come over to Twitch. We got people chatting. All right, let me grab this new game engine. You know what's funny is it looks fine on this screen. So what I really need to do is I just need a wireless mouse. Or hold on. Holy shit. You think this is safe to use? It's freaking bent. I'm not gonna unbend it. Worse. All right. Is that close enough that I can actually face? It's kind of awkward, but use my own OBS to see the monitor because it's on the right resolution. Edge. Tell me I got Chrome installed. Hello, Chrome, where are you? Seriously? You gonna be like that, dude? Where are you? Trying to move my face out of the way. Let's see. Guys, we're gonna do it. We're gonna use Edge. No, Edge isn't launching. Oh, you know what it is? I bet you the reason it looks all stretched is I bet you it's, well, I could be wrong, but there might be multiple desktops, either because of the capture card or because of the, yeah, nothing is popping up on this screen. I wonder if there's two desktops. I'm going to plug the display port. There we go. Yeah. So the main desktop was on DisplayPort. That's what happened. Okay. You know what? You should give me that rat, and you should remote drive this because I don't know what I'm doing. All right, close this. Is the resolution crap now? No, resolution's good on OBS. Terrible on this screen. Oh, that makes sense. The capture card setting the resolution, not my ultra wide. Cool. Actually, we want Steam. I'm just gonna open Steam. I don't even need this. Well, actually, you know what we need? We need the docs. Please do not break again. Oh, you know what? It's right there. Boom. Need some room. Put these cables back. Sorry, I was reading your chat. Does it get flagged by doesn't Windows like have built-in virus detection stuff now, like security stuff? Does it get flagged by that? This is the website. What the heck? Why is it not rendering? Oh, there it goes. Whoa. Oh, not again. Uh-oh. See? Talk about Windows security. It just popped up. Okay, don't hack me by going to my Steam app on my phone. Sorry. Lame joke. Made it twice. Do I have Steam on my phone? Okay. Oh, shit. It says London. You guys are hacking me. So do I just deny this? Which one of you is this? What the fuck? How'd you do that? That's cool. Alright, well. Was that really you guys? That was awesome. Okay. There we go. Try it again. No, it still says London. So, do I have a VPN on? Unusual sign-in attempt. Should have known. Bunch of hackers in the chat. Let's see. Now I need my 2-minute delay so I can sign into this shit. Am I being silly? being silly. That's hilarious. I don't even know when I did this, but I'm on a VPN. How did I get on a VPN? I don't know. Oh, I know why. I was downloading some emulators. Legally, of course. Alright. Well. Cool. Let me see. It should actually already be in here. Sandbox. Sandbox. Doesn't show up. In my library, maybe? Tools. Sandbox. No. Alright, well. We'll try this again. Boom. Beat you guys to it. I literally just did that. Hello. Going in loops here. Face punch. I'm going to punch you in the face. How would you approach an environment where there's no OS at all? That's cool stuff. Make me want to get my Flipper Zero out. Oh, this is not my account. My nephew was playing on my machine. Am I on the wrong account on my phone too? No, that's right. There we go. Okay. Oh, I just saw it. It's right here. Alright, I'll show you guys the screen again. So you don't have to look so far away. I wonder if OBS, the free one, I used to pay for it. I wonder if it has a streamer chat on screen. It's got to, right? Let me look. Chat. Browser. I'm going to browser. Text. that didn't work at all. I can do that. Huh. I need to like clip it. There's got to be a plugin for this. Oh, echo. Okay. Nope, still there. There we go. File, settings, stream, advanced options, Twitch chat add-ons. Problem is I'm using a multi-streamer. Oh, download finished. Didn't even notice. Dude looks hilarious. Why does he look like a hot dog with legs? That's awesome. There's sound. Hey, there we go. Just used nightdev.com/hosted OBS chat /question channel equals Randroid 88, and just load that in the OBS browser. Cool. I don't know where to position this though. Right in the middle of the screen. Problem is if I shrink it, the text gets smaller. If I put it off screen, maybe that's fine. Whatever. Alrighty. I'm going to try this. Update 26. I guess I gotta look at the screen. It's way too stretched out. Oh. How did that get big again? Whatever. Okay. Oh, those dudes left, I think. All right. Well, I'm going to try it anyways. We can make a video out of it. Santiago? Timestamp now. All right, what is this? Sandbox game engine from Gary's Mod with little hot dog guy with legs. All right. I actually can barely see this on my screen if I'm being honest. Let me try and fix that. I need this scale to window, canvas. Let's go full screen. Okay. That didn't really work. All right, I think that's good enough. Oh, he really does look like a hot dog though. Didn't realize you're still here. It's the two streamers. I thought this was my phone. Pizza clicker. Okay, so these are games. So the way this engine works is you can actually play games through Steam, or I guess through the engine. I don't know who's paying for the server, but think of it like Roblox or like that Fortnite user created stuff where you just play in their sandbox. I guess that's why it's named Sandbox. Pizza clicker. Here we go. Okay, I'm playing somebody's game. Press and hold to ascend. Is this cut off? Looks like it's cut off. All right. That's kind of making me hungry. I want pizza. Oh, one of these games, huh? Clicker. Okay. All right. And then what's the UI like? How do I actually get out? Okay, so this is an overview. This is reviews. I could thumbs up it. Cool. Now, how do I make a game? What's this update about? Oh, here we go. I was going to read these anyways. We overhauled the third-person camera to be a lot smoother. So being a vehicle feels great. I mean, it's not Gary's mod without vehicles, right? Honestly, that looks pretty good. That's pretty cool. Sandbox hoverballs. You can now stick hoverballs on the contraptions to fly around. This reminds me of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. You guys ever play that? I play tested that actually, or QA'd it back in the day. Sandbox saves. There are now saves in Sandbox, so you can save and load entire play sessions. These work in single player or multiplayer and will keep track of the map, players, all props, and entities. Sick. This is all in one release. Sandbox summary. Oh. We've been pushing updates almost every single day. Yeah. So if you notice something that was previously broken, it's probably been fixed. Is this open source? Can I see the code for this? I don't think so, right? 1v1 me and cookie clicker. Yeah. Okay, I gotta try the car racing one. You guys can't see it, but I actually do have a racing wheel and a racing seat back there. Something tells me it is not set up for that, though. Loading, 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 loading. Is it stuck? Oh, it's just downloading. It's cut off. Oh, no, it's right there. Okay. Downloading realistic car driving. Must be some good ass models. Kind of want to switch back to the docs, but yeah, I could do that real quick. Inception. Oh, yeah, that's right. Just have to switch tabs. All right, who wants to read docs with me? You know what? We could use, so I have this AI browser called Dia. I could say, what's the minimum I need to do to create a game? Let's see, who's faster, AI or me reading? Oh shit, it's fast. Install the editor from Steam, then create a minimal game project in the welcome screen. That gives you bare bones. I didn't see it create game, but it probably was there. Oh, it's already loaded. Back to the PC. Oh my god, this looks like Grand Theft Auto. Holy crap, that's awesome. Okay, daily rewards, 5,000 bucks. Got a car there. How do I start? Enter. Nope, not enter. Complete the mission. Oh, W. Another naked dude. Okay, this is Grand Theft Auto, guys. You can play Grand Theft Auto in Sandbox, the game engine. Or Driver, like that right there. I don't know why it reminds me of Driver. That model. You know what's funny? This is called realistic driving game or something, right? I haven't seen a single car yet. This is weird. I can jump, I can look around, but I cannot do anything else. Oh, cars. Oh, I learned to read, buddy. Oh no, Q. I can't read at all. Select Carl. Is that like a joke? Because it's not a car. It's a Carl. I literally have nothing. It's got to be a joke, right? Select Carl. Oh, there we go. Bus job. I can get a job so I can buy a car. How about that? It's called Realistic Driving Game because no one can afford gas. No joke. You have to literally get a job. Would you like to start working as a bus driver? At least I'll be in a car. Hell yeah, there we go. Carl the bus driver. Oh, okay. Can't run through the fence. I wonder if it works with controls out of the box. I have my Xbox controller here. Oh, flipped it. What? How is that even possible? Do you guys remember what GTA game was it that you flip the car and it just GTA 3, right? Probably 4 too. You just flip it and it just catches fire every time because they didn't want to bother trying to figure out how to flip it back over. But this is it. You could have learned from Realistic Driving Game. This is how you flip your cars back over, Rockstar. It's like dancing. So we literally just saw the release notes. They're like, now we have better vehicle handling. I'm curious if this is that. Is this the better vehicle handling? And I'm stuck. I don't think I could do that again if I tried. I am literally stuck. Tab to teleport. Whoa. Oh, okay. This is in the game. I thought it was the game engine. Le Mans. Do they got tracks in here? Oh, whoa. This looks sick. Oh, I gotta download it. They've got full-on maps in here. Didn't this game engine literally just come out? Did Gary make this? Topanga. Cool. We'll switch this one. I feel like I could do a whole stream just playing all these games, but I actually do want to try to build one. I want to see, like, is it just scripting based? Is it no code, low code? What is it? Clipped it. Nice. Get me stuck. Did I click too much? See, I've got no patience. I think I canceled it when I clicked. I don't think it's teleporting. I think that bus is so stuck you can't even teleport. Okay, something's jank, something's broke. All right, I can go players. Oh, these are people who are actually playing right now. Fishy, what's up, Fishy? Oh, he's on Steam. Okay, I don't want to get out of the game. Go back. Back to game. Cool. Okay, we're not gonna do that. Map. Is that a real player? Are we? Wait. Die to KB? This is a real player. Who's in my? Who's stream sniping? I'm just kidding. Get me out of here. Come ram me. Somebody come ram me. So get me out of this bus. The map textures vaguely remind me of San Andreas. That's what it is. It's got to be. Not quite 4, not quite 3. Oh, cool. Is there an exit vehicle? Teleport map view. I think that's all I got. All right, I'm gonna get out of this game. Oh, I'm stuck. Let's see if the teleport works now. I'm guessing I'm not the first person. Nope. Gary, you got a bug. No, I don't know who made that. Who made that? I can't even see. Pizza Clicker. SN Miner. Zombie Alpha. I wonder if this is going to just steal Roblox's lunch. This is pretty sick. Or is that it? Is that it? I'm curious like how many games they have total. Whoa. This is legit, guys. I love that art style. It's like hand-drawn voxel. Looks cool grounds multiplayer. Dude, I could spend my whole weekend playing this if I didn't have shit to do. I'm trying to look for like a total up and coming. Does that mean I can't play it? This is Vampire Survivors, but oh, it's got a good art style though. Yeah, a bit of a mobile-esque style, but Sausage Survivors 2. Oh, by Facepunch. Okay, that explains it. Sandbox, the game in Sandbox. Build, create, explore. This is the one we just played. By Meteor. Meteor, your game's broke, but awesome either way. Plinko, clicker, that's cool. Buy upgrades, get stronger. Everything's an upgrade. These say coming soon or up. Oh, up and coming. Okay, that's different. They're just getting more popular. I see. How do you scroll sideways? Okay. I would like a total game count. Does anyone see that on the screen? Do this just keep looping? Featured. Popular. Where's all? Give me a list of all. I feel like they don't want to tell me because it's like not endless, but I mean, I'm already impressed. There's a ton here. It's all featured. What's up next? Okay, there we go. 2048. This is insane. How can you be an indie game dev these days? Like you can't, you can't compete. You can't, what the heck? Player test. All right, Derek creates. I know this is a whip, but we're gonna be your first player of your player test. You're gonna be famous. All one of my viewers is watching right now, live. Honestly, pretty sick. I mean, just like I expected nothing, and you actually have a gun in the game, and when I shoot, it adds a target. Oh, they're bullet holes. It adds giant red placeholder. Oh, nope, they're lasers. What? No zoom. That's fine. I can jump though. Little Z clipping. I'm famous for that in my voxel games, so it's all good. Oh, Winner Dude. What's up, buddy? Am I him too? I think I have his hands. That's me, right? We're the same model. Oh, he's animating. He's like talking to me. I have no sound though. What are you saying, buddy? What are you saying? Good job, Derek. Love it. Where's the heart? Give him a heart, guys. Let's make him famous. Favorite. Is that liking it? If I click likes, I don't actually see a like button. Wait, I saw the developer tab. Console overlay. About. Okay, so these are the libraries it's using. Is Source 2 mentioned in here? .NET. Oh yeah, they did say it was on .NET. So is this C# then, I guess? FFmpeg. Cool. Source 2's got to be mentioned. Valve's got to be mentioned in here somewhere, right? LightDB. Oh, people can't see your comment, man. One of these days, I'll figure out how to be a Twitch streamer. Like, where am I supposed to put this? Because it like literally takes up the whole chat or the whole window. Can you still read that? I guess you can still read that. There we go. I know I'm just going through the dependencies, but this is the stuff that interests me. zlib, have I? I feel like I heard of that. No. I didn't see Valve. I didn't see Source, but I also kind of just skimmed it. Third party. Maybe it's not considered a third party. It's like a second party. Who wants to come to this game engine party? sound. So it does supposedly have sound. It's probably just, oh, here we go. Digital output? Nope. Speakers? Nope. What's this? NVIDIA high definition audio? I don't think so. My sound works in other games. I don't know. It's probably me though. Alright, we're gonna actually try to build something now. There's gotta be a create game option. A store. Okay, I'm not gonna get distracted. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. Servers, maps, games, hub, home. There's a character here. Is that? Oh, I want my hot dog guy. Oh, it literally says hot dog. Okay, so I'm not even like being original. It's a hot dog, guys. It's literally a hot dog. That's funny though. What is she wearing? It's a girl, right? Like tattoos and undies. Okay, what is this button? Create party. Who wants to come to my party? So we could play games together, guys. You have to download it though. I don't think you can just like go on a web page or anything. Okay, so it's like a Steam party. We gotta be friends. Sorry. I said I wouldn't get distracted, but I don't see a new. Leaving in 27 days. Mob boss shoes. Are you? Can I buy shoes for Hot Dog Man? Oh my god. Okay, I said I wouldn't get distracted, but I kind of want to. Okay, I gotta pay for them. Yeah. Come on, you have to at least give me the first one for free. Just give me a taste. I want shoes for my Hot Dog Man. Come on. Oh. Hair. I don't know why this is so funny to me, but he looks. Oh, tat him up. Facial hair. Okay, that's crazy. Clothing. Okay, so they did give you some free stuff. Oh, pirate leg. Who does this remind me of? Bob the Builder? No, like it reminds me of a character though. Oh, unowned. They only give you dresses? Oh, suits. Unowned. Available. Okay. This also reminds me of something. Are these from games that I just don't know? Unowned. Available. Some sneaks, dude. Big puffy jacket. Oh, that's cool. You can't see his underwear. These are boxers, dude. Oh. That's fine. He doesn't need... There we go. Whatever. Alright, so do you take your own character to games? Oh, he's pretty cool looking. I don't think so, right? Because we were Carl earlier. Alright, I'm going to go back to the tutorials because I think there is a way to create your own, but that is not it. Oh, I have to switch OBS or otherwise you guys cannot see. Site updated. Oh, okay, I got to show this to you guys. Check this out. They updated their site while we were streaming. The resemblance is uncanny. First steps. I'm going to try not to skim this, but I'm so tempted. Okay, install the editor. Okay, we missed a step, guys. And so I can do it through Steam. Get out of the game. I thought Sandbox was the editor, but maybe there's two different things. Oops. Allow. I gotta go to this website here. Oh, it's right here. News. Nope. Get it now. I already have it. Key features. Open source. Open source. It is open source, guys. Our code is on GitHub. They are on GitHub. Okay. Well. But I Should I download it on? I don't have any of my coding environments set up on PC though. Can I not like run it on my Mac somehow? I don't know if you saw it behind me or not, but yeah, there's another page here. At the bottom, it says open source. Their site has been updated. Okay. They're busy. Busy devs. Gary, go to bed. Stop updating your website. Key features. Hot reload. Publishing. Why are they showing Witcher? Coming soon. Export and release your Sandbox games as standalone titles on Steam. Completely free. No royalties. No strings. Your game, your name, your revenue. Virtual reality. We're committed to making VR and PC easy to develop and seamless to play. Shader graph. Create unique materials and post-processing effects with ease using our shader graph. Okay, this was written with an LM because there's emojis everywhere. Action graph. Use our visual scripter action graph to build interactive. Dude, this is sick. This might be my new game engine. Let's try it. Hammer. Create levels with Valve's powerful hammer editor. We've made it moddable and new tools, UI, primitives, and more. Okay, I've never used that. Cloud assets. Hot load. Not hot reload. Hot load. Got a hot. Okay, I'm gonna. Multiplayer. Play fund. Earn real money. And when people play your games, our Play Fund rewards creators based on engagement, not ads or microtransactions. The Play Fund grows with our success, so more players the game gets, the bigger the pool will be. So far, we've paid. Holy shit! You can get paid for playing or making, but making, right? Rewards creators. Okay, so it is like Fortnite, except you have to buy V-Bucks in Fortnite. How does it work here? Oh, probably the character skins and stuff, or the clothes. Very jealous of their website's UI. It makes me feel like I'm stuck in 2010. You shouldn't see my website. No, it's very similar. Like, single page. Okay, there's their code. That's what I was trying to get to. Sandbox is a modern game engine built on Valve Source 2 and the latest .NET technology. It provides a modern, intuitive editor for creating. Okay, so I'm gonna have to like set up Writer and everything. I'm not using Visual Studio. Sandbox. Okay, we saw that. You can download and install the editor. So I think what we have is the editor. But we can compile from source. Yeah, maybe I won't do this right now. Oh, there it is. Okay, we'll just, I mean, we're in the, of course. All right, does this mention Valve here? Sorry, I'm obsessed with this. Oh, shoot. Okay. There's the engine. Wait, what's game? This is the editor. Oh, sample. Assets. So this is a scene file. This is JSON. It's just JSON. Game objects. A sun. Position, rotation, tags, enable true components. Direction, light, fog, strength. Cool. So they've got a scene with every single thing. And then like, are these primitives or are these, okay, so cube, that's a primitive. Oh no, that's just the name of it, but yeah, it's probably a model, renderer, body groups, ID, material, no material. Default.vmap. You know, anyone know what a vmap material? Oh, material, virtual material, render on. Yeah, I want to load this up and actually see it, but all right, we're not gonna do that at this exact moment. We're gonna go back and try to figure out how to hello world a game without compiling from source. First steps. So assuming we do have the editor, click on library tab, search, install both the game and the editor. Okay, there was two. There was two things in Steam. I missed it. Inception. It took me a whole hour to get that Sandbox me Sandbox. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. It's confusing to type, but all right. So here's Steam Sandbox. Can you guys see? Yeah. So I should look here actually because it's the right. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like super stretched on this monitor. But yeah, capture card doing its job. Just notice the chat's off the screen again. Seriously, how do people do this? Just put it at the top left? I don't know, whatever. Alright, do you guys see the actual editor? I searched here and didn't find anything. Go to my library. I see one thing here. Where's editor? Store page? Create games. Intuitive modern editor. Where is your editor, Gary? Am I crazy? Maybe it's cut off. Manage. Okay, there are editor files in here. That's that action graph thing they mentioned. Sandbox projects. Okay. Maybe it's just installed and I have to. Oh. Sandbox dev. That looks right. Is that an exe? That looks good. That might be it. There we go. Okay. I don't think your how-to page is actually accurate. I didn't have to install anything separately. So we have a default project, sample project called Sweeper. Version 26.04.01. If you are watching this video in 5 years because it popped off like my lumberyard video, you're probably not on this version. And I don't know where the JSON config is. Sorry, some old school lore for you. Okay. I just need a KVM switch so I can use my actual keyboard and mouse. I can't see with the chat on the screen. All right, welcome to the Sandbox editor. Press next to follow a brief interactive guide to get more familiar with the editor. It'll run through what each part of the interface does and is highly recommended for beginners. This is the main viewport, your view into the current scene. Here you can manipulate the game objects in your scene to build whatever you want. Sorry, that's an exclamation mark. To build whatever you want. To look around, hold right mouse button and use WASD while holding right mouse button to move around. I wish I could try it instead of just reading. I'm going to forget. This is the hierarchy on the left side here. Okay, where all the game objects in your scene live. Here you can search through and organize all the objects in the scene. You can also create new game objects via the plus button. So far, so good. Very intuitive. This is the inspector. What is it highlighting? I think it's, oh, my camera's over it. Oops. There we go. This is the inspector, which will show you the properties of the selected game object. You can also add and remove components from here and edit their properties as well. Components are what tell a game object what to do, like render a model with the model renderer or play sounds with a sound point. You can make custom components with C# to control game objects in whatever ways you want. Okay, all makes sense. This is the asset browser where you can browse all the assets in your project. This is essentially the file explorer for this specific project, allowing you to manage your assets as well as the assets from any libraries you may have added. You can create new assets in the current folder using the New button. Okay, and then he clicked on Cloud here. This is the Cloud browser where you can browse assets that have been uploaded to the workshop. Here you can find models, materials, sounds, and more that you can instantly drag and drop directly into the main viewport to use right away. You can visit Sandbox or S&box.game in the browser and favorite various collections to get quick access to them. Cool. S&box.game, check it out. All right, then up here, when you're ready to test things out in game, click the play button or F5 to instantly enter play mode. While playing, you can press escape to free the mouse and use the pause and stop buttons to control execution, or simply press F5 to instantly exit play mode. Press the eject button while the game is playing to view the game's current scene in the editor view. Then, once your game is complete and ready for the world, you can come here, so up here, okay, making sure, yeah, it's kind of blocked by my FPS. By the way, for the record, I am getting 194 FPS in the editor. Amazing. With like a 5-year-old graphics card. You can come here to configure your project settings and prepare for publishing. You can choose to publish your game so other people with Sandbox can play the game and find it in their Discover tab. Or you can choose to export the game and publish it yourself on external sites platforms. All right. See you later, man. Thanks for chatting. That was fun. Oh, you guys can't see. The chat is taking off. If I spam the chat, and then I can find the max size. Genius. True. Good point. I didn't think of that. What is the max, I wonder? Are we there yet? I think we're there. Yeah, we're there. Maybe we didn't find the line, max line length, but that's fine. All right. Yeah, we got a lot of chatters today. This is awesome. We got 31 followers. I've had 30 as my goal for freaking ever, guys. It's freaking awesome. We blew through it with an extra one tonight. Thank you so much. Friday nights, who knew? All the cool vibe cutters are up. All right, then once your game is complete and ready for the world, you can come here. Okay, we already read that. Literally clicking with the wrong mouse. I need to fix my setup. Welcome to the Sandbox editor. That's it. You're ready to start creating in Sandbox. Remember, you can always access this tutorial again from help, show, welcome tutorial if you ever need a reminder. There's our sun. There's our camera. That's a little eyedropper that says look at. Closing that. We've got an endless room here, endless void with architectural grid lines, a red and yellow crossing line. I can click this open camera view. Okay, that's what I clicked earlier then, right? Okay, cool. I thought I was clicking the sun earlier. Oh, it's like a box. This is the sun box. Direction light. That's what that is. Okay. Let's play it, and then let's change the worlds. So, I don't think I have a player character because that didn't do anything. Oh, you get the overlay for free. That's cool. So there's no player, just a camera, and it doesn't seem to move. And this is cut off for you guys too, right? I'm gonna make this a little skinnier. Yeah, there we go. So we can. All right, we can position the camera here. We want to add like a player or something. How do we do that? 3D object cube. Decal, line, plane, sphere, sprites. I don't have any sprites, do we? Oh, heart. We do. Cool. F5. F5. Oh, we got a heart, guys. We did something. Let's look at those assets. Cloud assets. Models. Where's our little wiener guy? Where are you at, buddy? Is it crackhead on opium? Oh my gosh. That's crazy, guys. Who made a crackhead reference? Used by. You can see what games used it. Is that what that is supposed to be? Games that used it? I don't know. Somehow this inspector took up my view. I can't actually see. Okay, there we go. I do want a character. I don't necessarily want a crackhead. Category. Human. Does hot dog guy count as a human? Oh, there's a Shrek. Whoa. Loading the graphics. I might have crashed it. I clicked too fast, guys. I just got excited. Oh, and there's a Skibbity toilet. We crashed. Before we can get to Terry Skibbity toilet, created by Rod. Oh, we're getting to the Facepunch assets right here. Torn torso gib. All right, we crashed. Well, it just so happens it's 2 a.m. Time flew by. I am tired. Oh man, there was another YouTube chat. It's so weird that I cannot. It's like right in front of me. I still can't see it. Said, maybe hear that chat. 2 of you don't exist. I can't see. See, that's the problem. I can't actually see the number of YouTube chatters. I can only see the Twitch. Let me scroll. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Dun, dun, dun. 349 subscribers on YouTube. Let's get that to 350 participants. Nah, it's just me now. I missed it. Sorry, Vinger Gimmo. I missed your chat. Oh, there's Terry. Oh, it recovered. I thought I was going to crash. I was going to go to bed. But he's back. Where's his... Okay, he doesn't have his hot dog skin. Creepy horror. Sausage. Scary Terry. Good name. Good name. Oh, but this is published by someone else. Maybe this one is different because he's... Oh, Shadow Terry. That's why. Can I search for Terry? Terry, where are you? Okay. That's Mungus again. And it's called Stump Guy. And it looks like an actual hot dog this time. Oh, he got amputated. Oh, that's so wrong, guys. It's so wrong. Oh, Terry Skibbity Toy. So this guy's name is Terry. That's good. Okay. But I want to see it from... Okay, obviously Terry must... Oh, man, there's a lot of Terrys here. Obviously Terry must be a supplied model. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's just like already downloaded assets. No, just scenes, code, localization, libraries, movie maker. There's something down here. I can't see it. Citizen. Maybe that's him. Or maybe Citizen is a game or something. What is that? Sorry, I don't know why my resolution is so bad. I can't see half the stuff. Let me close these. Models. Come on, tell me I got a Terry in here. Tell me I got a Terry in here. Animation, skin, subgraphs, prefabs. What are these files? VMDL prefabs. Can I just drag them? No. Maybe. Doesn't look like it. Maybe I have to drag it into the game folder. Let's see. Assets. Boom. Nope. Oh, yep. Oh, I think this is that other tool from Valve. What was it called? Hammer? This is Hammer, guys. I think it might be. So you can edit animations in here. Whew. There's a lot to this stuff. What is this? Skeleton settings. Okay. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know what these files are supposed to be. Maybe citizen animation list, model doc. Yeah, so I don't think that's the actual full-on model prefab or whatever I thought it was. Yeah. Oh, no, I crashed it. All I wanted was a character moving around the screen. Can we get that far? I feel like that's our hello world. We should be able to at least do that. Bootstrapping. If anybody knows of any KVM switches, so what I would need is, I could probably rearrange the PC or something, but what I need is be able to switch my USB keyboard and Bluetooth mouse, Magic trackpad, whatever. Or maybe I should just plug in this mouse here. Either way. I do have a KVM switch actually. What am I talking about? But it's just a USB switch, and it's a hard switch. Like I have to actually physically press the button. What would be really cool is if I could do, so when I have two MacBooks, I can like move my cursor across, like from one laptop to the other. It'd be really cool if I could do that across Mac and PC, but I'm sure somebody's solved it. Maybe I'll vibe code something there. All right, we loaded up again. We're on a mission, guys. We're gonna download a freaking character. Maybe I guess we're going with Shadow Terry or whatever. Another crackhead. How many crackheads are there? Alright, I just want a normal character. That's all I want, guys. Here we go. What is Daft? I gotta not click so fast. Okay, Daft Punk. We're doing it. Right click. Up to date. Open an editor. Okay, now I kind of want to see if I can. Okay, cool. So you can open this in Hammer. That's pretty sick. Can I take his helmet off or something crazy? Let's just see. Instead of his spine, you rip his spine out? No, don't want to do that. I wonder if I could make an actual change that would be reflected. Okay, hat, maybe? Okay, I can. What can I do with hats? Parent bone, weight, root. I don't like super break it. I just kind of want to like, I don't know, change the color or something like that. I guess that would be a texture. Feed settings, movement, publish. What I ultimately want to do is be able to talk about MCPs from earlier in the channel. We could like create an MCP that will interact with this, or just a desktop MCP, or we find the underlying files to these things, because these are all just files at the end of the day. And kind of like I did with my robot 3D models, we can have Claude like pose them and add new animations and stuff all through code. It's a lot of trial and error when you're testing that sort of thing, though. I don't see anything like immediate that I can like, I don't know, like toggle off his helmet or rip his head off or something. Physics body, body groups. Like what if I just, nope, it's one body, one giant body. Hitbox, materials. I wonder if one of these is the helmet and one is the suit. This is default color. Compiled asset editing disabled. Okay, so I can't actually change that. That's like the thing I was thinking of doing, is changing one of the colors. Whatever, that's fine. All right, can I put this in? Wow, performance, cool. I don't know why my cursor looks like that, but whoa, not the view I was going for, but okay. Let's rotate, rotate, rotate this way. I don't know what axis I'm rotating. Nope, I don't want to mess with the grid. I want to oh, there we go, rotate. Not what I was going for again. Here we go. Rotate the camera. Let me do this. Let me do it through here. Local position. This guy. Ooh, boom. 0. Okay. All right, now I need some kind of scripts, player movement, camera. What if I put the camera like in his head or something? Can I stack these? There we go. Cool. And now let's do some kind of movement. We need a script here for movement. What do we have? Model, materials, maps, referenced. What was this tab again? Mounts. What is this tab? You can mount inside another game? Is that what that is? This is a mod? I don't even know. Model. I don't want model. I want scripts. Can I not? Oh, can I just drop a freaking map in here, by the way? Maybe not. Oh, it's loading. Okay. Scripts would be over here, actually, right? So if I click on the player and I try to add a new script, add component, do they have movements? Move mode ladder, sit, swim, walk. Okay. And do I have to set up controls? Downloading the downtown map that I threw in there. GTA bed. So there's GTA stuff in here. Hello. Downloading, downloading, loading. Froze. I saw it for a second. Coding error, object reference not set to an instance of an object. Which one? Oh, there we go. Okay, we got a world. We can move the camera around, and we're kind of like float. Oh, see our guy stuck in the ground over there? That's interesting. Did we put the world spawner? Okay, okay. This is probably the object reference that was missing. I lost my inspector. View inspector. Can you dock, please? Oh, there we go. That was cool. Go over there. Ooh, maybe not. How do I dock it? I don't want it. I want you to be docked, buddy. There we go. Cool. I don't care about sound right now. Give me this world spawn. And then can I choose my player model? This is a little jank. Solid ladder trigger. Network mode. Orphaned world spawn. Are you supposed to choose what you spawn? Map objects. Editor only, position absolute. What does this do? Network using. Okay, I guess that's. But I mean, why is it red? It's like it wants me to set it. What is your error? World spawn components map objects. I don't know why it's red then. Let me take this camera out. Let's see if that fixes anything. Texture manager doesn't know about texture. Okay, that fixed the weird. That's still pretty weird. Well, not quite walking around. We didn't quite get there, guys. I don't want to quit, but I also... Oh, you know what? It's because I took it out during when the game was still running. And now I just added it to the map. No! There we go. Is there an option to like right click and remove it? Oh no, it's like nested even further. Create parent as to paste as child. Cut. There we go. Paste. See? You can just learn these things, people. Copy, paste, click blindly. What else do you need? Okay, didn't really change anything with the camera, that's fine. It is trying to move around a bit. I wonder if that's at all related to... You know, I added that, or what was it, walk something on here? The animator, render, player controller, this thing, move mode. And turn it off. Error, exception, when calling, fixed update on Sandbox player controller. Okay. So I have to have this. What if I delete it? Cut. Okay. You just can't have it disabled for whatever reason. All right, well, we might need to find some tutorials. I'm just poking around, but seeing like how many games are already out and how cool they look, I feel like this shouldn't be too hard to pick up for folks. So if you're in the market for a new game engine, or you want to support Gary and his mods, or Valve, maybe check out the new S-box or S&box or Sandbox game editor. All right, well, I'm gonna head out. Thanks for watching, and really do appreciate those follows, those likes, those subscribers, those chatters, those delinquents, those. Oh, Jade, you're still here. Later. Thanks for popping in again. Appreciate it. Hopefully you guys come back. That was fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.